So from there, I got to play for Vivian Chow. My first gig was in Las Vegas. So I was paid a very decent amount. I was like, wow, I made it, you know. Hi, I'm Christine Sham. I am a media composer, educator, and musician. A media composer is basically a music composer that does music for all sorts of medium. Can be doing animation, short film, TV commercials, films, anything that to do with the media. Those days, the synthesizer was the rage, you know. It was like the thing to have. So my dad bought me a Korg synthesizer when I was 16, and that's when I started to playing with my new toy every night, and I was programming music with it and then discovering how to arrange actually. So I was creating different moods. If I hear something mysterious, I would compose a mysterious track and imagine the scenario. So the story, the visual was in my head. And of course I didn't know that time I was actually composing to media, to visual, but yeah, I didn't have any visuals in front of me. So those visuals were inside my head. I was making things up. I was imagining I was in a situation and then scoring my own film. So like maybe like, I think when I was 16, it was about the time where you decide what you want to do. So I was thinking that I was pretty serious about music then. I couldn't live without music. I decided I was going to pursue music as my career, but I didn't know what I was going to do yet. I looked around the famous musician that was famous around my time, and I kind of want to know where did they study. And then they studied in this place called Berklee College of Music, and then they were very successful. So I thought, oh, maybe that's the place for me. I think my father saw the potential in me, maybe. So he took out his savings to help me out. Yeah. It was not easy because it's very expensive, and you know the conversion rate was so high. Basically, I had enough money to study for 1 year only. I wanted to study film scoring in Berklee, and then when I went there, actually I realized that there were some lab fees, there was some additional fees. So I brought the exact amount for the first year, and then I realized that I don't have enough money for the lab fees. I therefore did not study film scoring, something I wanted to do. When I started working, I went to a studio, post-production, and started to work and started to learn film scoring. My first artist was Zhou Huiming, okay, Vivian Chow. She's from Hong Kong. I happened to mingle around with people who spoke Cantonese then, I guess, and then they happened to know another person, and then they wanted to try me out as a band leader for a song competition. And then I did that, and then I sort of like earned an audition maybe. So from there, I got to play for Vivian Chow. My first gig was in Las Vegas. So I was paid a very decent amount. I was like, wow, I made it, you know. So when I was in the States, I also played for Gigi Leung and like Jimmy Lin, Ling Zhiying. Because when I come to Singapore and I have that in my resume, I got a cold call from the most happening music director, like Martin Tang. He gave me a call and said, hey, you want to play for Ame? I'm like, I was hired just like that, you know. It's an amazing story. And then I played for Stephanie Sun. That was 2004. So until now, I'm still playing with her. I'm so glad. Besides that, there was also FIR. I played with David Tao. I played with Sally Ye. I played with Wu Qixian, you know, Eric Mu. And so after I was doing commercials for a couple years, one day I was in my studio, and then Eric Koo, a very famous Singaporean director, came in to my studio to look for someone to score his film Be With Me. I was at the back room, and then my producer said, ask Christina. So I did it, and then he loved it, and then that's how we got to work together until now. Singapore is a small scene, so if you say it's hard here, you have to think that if you're in New York, things are also hard in New York. If you're in Melbourne, it's also hard in Melbourne, you know. So even in LaSalle, when I see some of my students like going through all their questions, so I always advise them about the reality. Like when you graduate, what's going to happen? Let me tell you, you know, if you want to do this, you should diversify yourself, blah, blah, blah. I always give them a lot of tips. Because when we are young, we want the limelight. They want to hear the stories. Like if I'm telling you a nice story about how I played in they'll be like, if I can play once, then I can die already. You know, people say that. It's very foolish. Because if you just play it for one time and then that's the end of your career, it's actually very, very tragic. You want to be honing your skills, doing this over and over again. That is called living a life. Not like, I will do this once, then enough already. I think finding your own voice is one very important thing, you know. I'm not like an artist or anything like that, but in your own skill, in your own artistry, right, you are an artist because people will ask you, what are you famous for? What are your three, if you describe yourself with 3 words, your music, you know, what is it? And most students won't be able to do that because they have not gone through this, the soul searching, the process of finding out what is their strength and weaknesses. So it takes time. This is hard to juggle for those people who are married, have kids and all that. That's why sometimes it doesn't suit them anymore. This lifestyle, if you're traveling with someone like Ame, right? Wow, there's a lot of shows going on, and then if you have to spend that much time away from your family, of course it affects your family life, right? You have to kind of work it out. I cannot live without music, yeah. A lot of the times I'm working through the weekends. People say you have no life, you're always working. But I love my work, you know, my work is not work, it's my passion. So actually if I have to japan, I have to work overnight, I have to burn my Saturday, Sunday, I do that every week actually. It doesn't matter to me. I love my work. I don't get burnt out. I don't feel like Monday blues. I don't have Monday blues, yeah. I love it. I love what I'm doing, yeah. It sounds like, you know, working process, that kind of like journey. Hi, I'm Christine. I'm a media composer and this is why I do what I do.